So I'm sitting there on my phone, doom scrolling, looking at people's reaction to Cat's Eye Gnarly, off topic, but kind of decisive song opinions. But anyway, then I see Genshin Impact is premiering a video at 1 o'clock, and I was like, I have to check this out. So I watched it, and to my surprise, it was about Nod-Krai and the development behind it and the reasonings for having a filler region essentially. So I just thought I'd share my thoughts on what I thought about this video they released today. I'm very excited for Nod-Krai. So I guess the reasoning they want Nod-Krai is because a lot of players don't read the lore, and they can't just start mentioning stuff about the Moon Sisters and everything in Chesnaya when players haven't read the lore. They'll be so confused. So I guess they're giving players explicit answers now to the questions we've been wondering for the last 5 years. So I guess a part of me is happy that we're getting answers now because we've been waiting a long time. But I'm not happy about the fact that it basically will be all coming out in like 1 year instead of being spread out throughout the game. I don't know how I feel about that yet. But I'm most excited for it. I guess I am guilty of being a player who doesn't read. I don't even read the character stories. So I like that they're doing this. I just hope it doesn't get too overwhelming for players that we're having all these lore drops. And you know what? I feel the most sorry for Ashkai. She's a really good Genshin lore creator, but I can just tell she's gonna be loving Nod-Krai for all the lore. Yeah, I'm happy that they're gonna tie loose threads together like they said, but I just hope it is done in a very organized manner. I think my biggest complaint about Natlan was the fact that it just felt so disorganized, because we're getting all this lore about the Dragon Civilization, all of this mentioning about the Pyro Archon, everything, when we literally were given no background information. That was like not even hints throughout the last 4 years of the game. So it felt just like whiplash when you're given all this information straight away. I think my biggest gripe in Natlan is that they try to tackle so many themes like self-sacrifice, identity, sense of self, resurrection, the power of friendship, the power of teamwork. They try to tackle so many themes, but you know the saying, too many cooks spoil the broth. It was basically that kind of situation in Natlan. They had too many ideas, but they couldn't fit it into the patches in the storyline, so it kind of fell short. Like, a lot of players don't even know that the weekly boss in Natlan is basically the Abyss mimicking the Sovereign, because they don't even mention it in the storyline, the Archon quest. The only reason I know that is because I watched the live stream before that patch where they said that explicitly, yeah, you're fighting a Dragon Sovereign. How bad does the game have to be where you don't even mention what you're fighting in the actual storyline? That makes no sense to me. But let me not ramble too much. I can make a separate video about the positives and the negatives of Natlan if you guys want, but let's just stick to this video. But I'm excited for Nod-Krai because of the lore that we'll get, all the reveals, everything that we'll get. I just hope it's done in a good manner. One thing that attracted my attention was the fact they said that this will last the whole year, which means no Chesnaya, as I guess I thought it would be. I thought it would be initially Nod-Krai for maybe 2-3 patches and then we'll go to Chesnaya, but I guess no more. They confirmed Nod-Krai, so I don't know how they will fill out Nod-Krai for a year long. I hope they don't go down the Honkai Star Rail route where they make Nod-Krai last for the whole... I don't play HSR, but I've seen online that people are not happy with the writing and it's just basically just waffle for no reason. Why are they having 12-hour long quests? That's crazy. If Genshin does that, I think I might not play it then, because I don't want to be dealing with 12-hour quests. I thought the Fontaine quests were quite long. They were enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but I thought they were quite long. I wish Genshin would give you an opportunity to tell you how long the quest is before you go into it. I also like the fact they're basically confirming that the 3 moon goddesses are real, because since the beginning of the game, everyone's theorized about the moon goddesses, but obviously there was no confirmation, just hints that they were real, especially in Sarumi Island. But now, the devs literally saying from their own mouths, yeah, that the moon goddesses and the moon power, like, that's crazy to me that we actually are confirming this really, really old theory about Genshin. So I'm happy about that confirmation. And then them name dropping Walker so casually, bit peculiar, but I guess it's because he might be one of the characters that's playable in the beginning of Nod-Krai, like in the 6.0 patch. It might be Walker. I hope we get some playable Hex and Circle characters too. I really want Atlas to be playable, but I doubt she will be. I bet they'll make one of the mages students be playable instead. But yeah, I'm excited for the new characters from the Frostmoon Scions too, and from the different factions at Nod-Krai. That would be very interesting to see how they design the characters to differentiate them. So I wonder what like the different factions will have in common design wise. So when you like look at that character, you know instantly, bam, this character is from this faction. That'd be quite interesting. They also explicitly mentioned they are getting their inspiration from Celtic design, Celtic mythology, so that would be nice to see. They also kept mentioning Norway and Iceland for their landscape and the fjords, so I assume we might be getting those kind of landscape features in Nod-Krai, which will be interesting to see how they manage to do that. I don't really like climbing the mountains in Liyue just because they take a long time and the stamina and everything. So I hope they have some sort of mechanic. I'm really going to miss Natlan characters for their mechanics, like Shalonin with her climbing on the wall a week of, and they also explicitly said they want to essentially get rid of character story quests and the hangouts and integrate them into the main Archon quest line, I guess. I'm not sure how I feel about that. A part of me tells me it's going to be like HSR, where they have like 12, 15-hour long Archon quests, but it will now include the Archon quest plus the character story quest into one. I kind of like them being separate because it just was more easier to do in your own time. I feel like they're hinting at introducing a new element, and I feel like it would be the perfect time as well to introduce a new element into Genshin, because by the time Nod-Krai is released, the game will be nearly 6 years old, and I feel like at that point the game's a bit stale, so you want to add a new element to liven it up a bit. Like in Honkai Impact 3rd, they added Quantum and Imaginary, but only those two elements can interact with each other. I hope they introduce a similar type of thing in Genshin with Quantum and Imaginary. I think they're not doing it currently because it's really hard to balance the game around new reactions and everything like that. But I do hope they introduce a new element. That would be very interesting to me, and it would make sense in Nod-Krai. I hope they don't like take the easy way out and do something like, oh yeah, this person does moon aligned dendro damage like they have in Natlan with the Night Soul thing. That's just a cop out, I'm not gonna lie. I want a new element. I demand a new element. In summary, Nod-Krai is basically an autonomous region in name, but in game it acts like Dragonspine or Economia, where it has its own like offering system, its own rules and everything. And I think they also showed the new statues of the Seven in Nod-Krai, but they're basically just each faction how they represent the Moon Goddess according to their faction. So that's quite interesting to see as well. And this will be a region that is for a whole year, so no Shiznaya. This region will be for the whole entirety of 6.0. And they also said something about renaming the patches to like Song of the Welcome Moon or something. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but something along those lines. And they also showed some NPC designs, I assume, and some enemy designs which look quite interesting, to be fair. And they're also reiterating that Genshin is not a medieval fantasy game. It is a game with different regions, and each region has different levels of technological advancements. So I assume it means Nod-Krai will be even more technologically advanced than Natlan. So I guess get your cigarettes and your vapes out, guys. It's going to be even more infighting about, oh, this is so immersion breaking. Why does this person drive a army tank? Why are they driving a car? I can already see it's going to happen, but they have decided to double down on this, so what can you do? If you are a new player or a returning player, I would definitely recommend to start playing Genshin again, especially during 6.0, because I feel like the lore drops, the characters, the designs are going to be amazing. Well, I hope amazing, and I feel like this is a new beginning for Genshin almost. I feel like Natlan tried its best, but Natlan was not enjoyed by many people. I enjoy Natlan, but would I say it's my favorite? No. So I guess Natlan must not have done well domestically or internationally. So that's why they're introducing Nod-Krai so early for players to know that we have a new region coming up. It will be different, completely different to Natlan and all other previous regions released. It will have its own contained storyline essentially, but it will give you all the answers you need to go into Chesnaya, to go into Genshin Endgame, and be satisfied with all the answers and not have any hanging threads. And yeah, let's see what Nod-Krai has in store. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys have any comments and thoughts below, make sure to comment, like and subscribe. Thank you.